Welcome back to Studio F on Fast Times Willy B. We'll be reviewing You're Cordially Invited. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Russell!
Welcome back to Fast Times Willy B. I'm Willy B. I've got Rosie with me. Rosie, how we doing?
Good. Glad to be back.
So today, we'll be talking about the latest Prime Video release, and that is You're Cordially Invited, directed by Nicholas Stoller. He's done a few things in the realm of comedy. Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I think, is his biggest one. Cast-wise, we've got some decent names.
Yeah,
We got Will Ferrell, we got Reese Witherspoon, we've got Geraldine V, is what I'll call her, because I butcher her last name every time I attempt it. Amongst others, but those were, the big ones. Cameo-wise, we get Peyton Manning and Nick Jonas.
I was going to say, there was tons of cameos. I loved it.
So bigger names there, too, as well. But we'll start with the good. I unfortunately don't have a lot in the good.
Okay.
One of the things I do have in the good is Nick Jonas. Him singing Creed, I have to put that in the good. As a Creed fan.
Yeah, that is funny.
Getting ordained and doing he's within the church. What do they call him? Pastor Luther, I think his name is.
Something like that.
But he's the pastor that is marrying one of our weddings in this movie, and he starts by singing with arms wide open, and I mean, come on, now. that's great. That's bold.
It was quite and he should do our wedding.
Yeah,
I think that would be great.
Yeah. What do you got in the good?
I really like, you mentioned the more technical things, but I'm just gonna mention I love the color of this, the colors.
Okay.
I don't know what that means to anybody else, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It was there was lots of stunning shots of the lake and
for sure.
This island that they're on, and I don't know, I don't know, I like the look of the movie.
Okay, that's fair.
Also, I just love Reese Witherspoon.
I will say in the good, I think Reese Witherspoon and Will Ferrell had good on-screen chemistry.
Yeah,
I'll put that in the good.
I heard somebody else agree with you, something on TikTok or something that we watched, and I think they mentioned the on-screen chemistry with them too. I think they're just both hilarious.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily in this movie hilarious, but
they have good track records now. For sure. I like most of both of their movies.
Yeah.
For the most part, I mean, especially in the comedy realm. This one just didn't do a lot for me, but
yeah.
As far as the good, I mean, I think that's where I might draw the line. Is I enjoyed Nick Jonas's cameo. I enjoyed the chemistry we got from the two leads. And I agree, it did look, I mean, it was very, well shot. It's a beautiful island, cool location, so I'll give that the good for sure. But that's about it for me.
Yeah, now I'm thinking about it, I do remember chuckling a few times. I know it's listed as a comedy on Prime, but not everything landed.
Yeah.
But I think obviously if I laughed out loud watching it, then I guess it must have been pretty good. I don't remember anything specifically that was said, which...
You definitely laughed a lot more than me.
I definitely did. I don't think you did at all. But, I don't know.
I think the only reaction I got from the movie was, hell yeah, when he started singing with arms wide open.
Yeah, I think they both got us. But
oh, no, you did get a chuckle from me when he said, you guys all have the same white Suburbans?
Oh, yeah. That was a good one, for sure.
But we'll hop over to the Met, and this is where I put the comedy.
Okay.
That's because good. I don't think it was all bad.
Right.
But there was some cringy comedy in this movie. And a lot of it didn't land for me, but there were a few that made me chuckle. The cameos were both funny to me, especially the Peyton and the Nick Jonas one. And there were a few that made me laugh. It was mostly Will Ferrell that would get me.
Yeah.
But he didn't get me as much as I expect him to.
Yeah. My major thing for the Matt is the acting. I don't want to put it in bad, personally.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you have something different than me.
I guess meh makes sense because I like our acting from our leads.
Yes.
But
yes.
a lot of the supporting acting is rough.
I don't know if it was just how the characters were written,
Yeah.
but it was so cheesy.
Yeah.
And so cringy.
Yeah.
At some points, it was like...
It was basically anyone under 30 was really cringy in this movie.
Yeah, like the bridesmaids for, what was her name, Jenny?
Yeah.
For Jenny's wedding.
Everybody in that wedding.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know if they were written that way, which I'm sure they probably were because Jenny's young, you know, she's still in college. So,
Yeah.
like, I guess that's probably how a group of girls would act in college. Give her, you know, I don't know. But
If I were Oliver, I would have left.
yeah, really, really cringy. And I don't know if that's poor, like, writing on the character's part
Definitely
or poor
writing
acting or
probably a little
both.
bit both, yeah.
But, yeah.
I'm trying to think what else I might have in the meh before we get to the bad, where unfortunately a lot of this movie fell for me, and I've noticed I'm probably in the majority thinking that this movie was a little underwhelming.
Yeah, I have one more thing to add to the meh.
Yeah, what do you got?
Before we move on, the story.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I feel like there's elements of the story that were cool, like the idea of like double booking a wedding.
Yeah.
Like it's a fun comedy rom-com idea.
Yeah. As
some of the writing
yeah
would hinder the story.
Yeah.
Though.
I'm gonna put it in the meh, not the good, because I just think some parts were it wasn't like
I think the premise is what I would say is in the. I would even argue maybe the premise is in the good because it's a cool concept, but it's just not done well. Yeah.
I mean, we're getting married this year, so I could not imagine that happening.
That'd be rough.
That would be tragic. Mainly because ours is inside. But if we did plan something, you know, in this realm, that would be tragic. But yeah, I'm glad I mentioned that because I'm glad you agreed with me on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going over to the bad. So I'll start with the beginning of the movie. Our first interaction between Jenny and her dad, Will Ferrell. Ugh. That was gross. I immediately looked at you and I was like, this is going to be a long watch.
Yeah, it was.
Then, you know, he calls and books the wedding, and the way the old lady dies, super not convincing. That was rough.
Oh, my goodness.
One of the worst
so bad.
fake deaths I've ever seen.
No,
but it was real. And then, this is where I'd put the writing. For a comedy movie, a lot of the comedy was not funny. And I'm going to go out and say that it was probably written comedy because I feel like Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon would have done better if it was improv. So I'm going to go out and say that this was a lot of script that was bad. I don't know for sure.
Right.
But a lot of the jokes did not land. The timing was rough in a lot of them. The whole alligator bit was kind of unfunny to me. Yeah, it was just messy. Very messy movie.
Yeah, now that I'm like think like because when we do these, I like replay the whole movie like in my head, and I don't know. It was just really choppy. I think like you get like longer portions of certain things, and then like I feel like things that are supposed to be longer and like get a little bit more detail, they just like cut it. They just cut it. Yeah. And cut that.
Keep it in.
Please don't. Put it in the bloopers. I don't know. And I'm putting the sabotage in the bad.
Okay.
Because as a bride of this year, I would never, ever want to do something to somebody else's wedding.
But the brides weren't doing it.
No, I know, but I would be so mad.
Yeah.
And honestly, neither of the brides were the main character, which obviously because they're not Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon. But you don't get to see a whole lot of like their actual story, and it's just like they just Jenny's dad and what was her Nev's sister.
Yeah.
They just had like this vendetta against each other.
Yeah.
And
Jenny
then
and Margot is Reese Witherspoon.
Yes. They just had some sort of vendetta against each other, obviously, but I don't know. Some of the things that happened, like that they did sabotaging each other, it was cringy.
Yeah, I think so too. Very unfunny in a lot of the parts. I agree. The bachelorette party is in the bad for me. I thought that was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
There was just a lot of things that like left me looking at the TV like, why?
Yeah.
I think the ending wasn't the bad too. I get we have, Will Ferrell and Reese Witherspoon come together and they end up falling in love, but like I felt like it was so forced. And like the scene where they're showing his "I like you" face was really weird. The TikTok of Jenny and Oliver breaking up was super weird. I don't know. There was just so many things that I was watching. I was like, this is just so unreal. I know when you're watching a comedy, sometimes you do have to shut your brain off and like think, okay, like it might not be the most accurate, but like this was just like a lot of super far-fetched.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't funny either. And I think that's like, if something far-fetched makes you laugh, you're cool with it. Mm-hmm. And I think the point of a comedy is to make you laugh, and I didn't do a lot of it. So that's why just as a whole, this movie unfortunately falls in this bad category for me. Despite having a few chuckles, just didn't do a lot for me. And I know that's, again, not uncommon for what the early reception of this film is right now.
Yeah.
So I'm with everybody that's naysaying this movie right now. I mean, that's just, it seems like the mold of straight to prime movies lately.
Yeah.
So
I'd love to know how they decide how that happens. Like, how do they decide it's going just right to Prime and not like going to the big screen?
I mean, if it's produced by Prime, they probably want it to go straight to their service.
That's true, but I don't know.
That's the big thing is producing. But because the producers put it on the big screen. But nonetheless, anything else for you in the bad? I mean, I don't want to kill a dead horse.
Yeah. I don't think that's the saying.
Whatever. Beat a dead horse, That's what it is.
Is it?
Yeah, I don't want to beat a dead horse.
Oh. I don't know. I don't know if I have anything specific. It just
Yeah.
It just, I don't even know how to put it into words. It was a movie.
Yeah.
It was something.
Yeah.
And we
mentioned
and we mentioned it before, like how we're always going to give credit because making a movie is hard work and it takes lots of time and money and I'm sure, I don't know what the budget was, but to get lots of big names, actors, sports, and I don't know if you know, but I know because I'm on comedian TikTok. There's 2 comedians in this movie. I don't remember their names. They're 2 ladies. The one lady drove the boat, drove them in onto the island.
Okay.
She's hilarious. I wish she was in the movie more, and that probably would have given me a few more points. And then she's the one that ran into the dock with the boat. And then, was it the oldest sister?
Yeah.
What was her name?
I can't think
Gwen?
of her name. It might have been Gwen.
Something like that.
But she talked real slow.
Yes, she's also a comedian. I don't remember her actual name either. I don't know if it's her accent, but I love her.
Yeah.
So I wish she was on screen a lot. And I think that's probably where it got another little bit of kick up more in the comedy aspect. But if you get a chance to check out those 2 ladies on TikTok, they're hilarious.
Okay. So hop over to our final thoughts and ratings. What do you want to leave off with? You're Cordially Invited. Okay. And what do you give it out of 10?
Oh, I apologize because I jumped the gun on that. That was my final thought.
Okay. That's fine.
I just wanted to say it before I forgot.
Yeah. Score?
Oh, heavens. I'm going to stick it right in the middle.
Okay.
Because I feel like I said an even amount for good, and bad.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with a 5.
Okay. For me, I'm going to go with a 3 out of 10. I thought it was a pretty rough movie, but I didn't think it was terrible per se. So I'm not going to dip down into the 2 range, but I'm going to go 3 out of 10. it's going to be towards the bottom of the list for this year. I can tell you that for a fact.
Yeah. I know which one is at the bottom.
Yeah. Anybody that watches this channel knows what's at the bottom so far, but it's also, the first month. It's just the key to a comedy movie is I'm not even looking for, great character arc or,
you're looking
twists
for something
or hidden
funny.
meaning, or I'm just looking to laugh, and it didn't do that for me either.
Yeah.
So you couple a cool premise, but a pretty weak written story with no comedy and rough acting in a lot of it. Just didn't do much for me. But it got me a few times, and I never wanted to shut it off, I guess. I mean, maybe, but it wasn't terrible. It was entertaining at moments.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
So I'll give it a 3.
Okay.
That'll do it for You're Cordially Invited. Thank you all for watching. If you like what you're watching, check out some other videos. Hit the subscribe button or follow the social links down below. We appreciate anything, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.
Peace out.